Did you miss this in Monsters Inc? One of the best parts of the movie is Boo and her relationship with Sully, but her real name was not told directly in the movie. But if you happen to pause at the right time, in the top corner of her drawings it's revealed that her actual name is Mary.
Boo? What's Boo?
Did you know that in the Cars franchise, Luigi's license plate is 445108, which is the coordinates for the main Ferrari factory in Italy? You missed this in Meet the Robinsons. We never really understood who Louis's mom was. In the end of the movie, we see her, but not her face. If you Photoshop this scene, you will see that she looks familiar. In fact, she's the lady in the beginning of the movie who wants to adopt Louis. She has blonde hair, just like Louis, and she has blue eyes, just like Louis. So what do you think? Do you think that she's the real mother? Did you miss this in Turning Red? When May and her friends go to Skydome, which is a real place in Toronto, we can see that the members of Fort Town all wear white shirts, mimicking the Backstreet Boys song I Want It That Way. Later on, there is also another Backstreet reference, but this one is so subtle that you have to be a Backstreet superfan to catch it. But if you are, you may have recognized the dance move performed in this scene is the exact same one from the famous Backstreet Boys music video for Everyone Backstreet's Back, a video that also happened to feature them turning into monsters at the end. Back, you missed this in Snow White. As you remember, the characters of the show were 7 dwarfs and Snow White. When Snow White goes inside the house, we can see 3 beds here, 3 beds here, 1 bed here, and another one here, which means that there are 8 beds inside the house. If there are only 7 dwarfs, why do they have an extra bed? Who is the extra bed for? What do you think? Was this a mistake by Disney? Did you catch this in Tangled? The difference between Mother Gothel's accent and Rapunzel's accent makes no sense at all. Mother Gothel speaks with a mid-Atlantic accent, but Rapunzel, who has never spoken to anybody other than Mother Gothel and has been trapped in the tower her entire life, has a completely different accent.
I love you very much, dear.
I love you more.
Based on the story, Rapunzel was kidnapped when she was a baby, so it's safe to assume Mother Gothel taught Rapunzel how to talk because she didn't have anyone to talk to. So Rapunzel should have the same accent just like her fake mother, right? What do you think? Was this a mistake by Disney? Did you know that in Encanto, during the early stages of the film, Mirabel's dad was the one who found the Encanto and built the magical home? This was later altered because in Colombian culture the women are mostly in charge. But that's not the only thing that changed, considering the fact that Encanto was in production for nearly 5 years spanning from 2016 to 2021, a lot of things were changed for the Oscar-winning animated movie. Like Bruno's name that was originally intended to be Oscar, but later changed to Bruno because Oscar didn't rhyme with anything. Did you know that in Inside Out, the voice actress of Baby Riley is the same person who did Boo's voice in Monsters Inc?
Here comes an airplane.
The producers recycled the voices done by Mary Gibbs, who was the voice of Boo, and used it again for Riley. We can even see her name in the end credits. The fun part is that both of them have the same hairstyle. Did you miss this in Bolt? When Bolt is lost in the city and wants to find Penny, a bus can be seen with 2525 written on top of it, which is of course a reference to the same bus used in the movie Speed. You missed this in Robin Hood.
Yes, close your sleepy little eyeballs. The Sandman's a-coming.
Who is Sandman, you ask? That's a really good question. Basically, the Sandman is a story from the 1800s about a monster that puts sand in your eyeballs. Then he would collect your eyeballs and go back to the moon to feed his children. So the purpose, obviously, of the Sandman is to scare kids into bed so that they don't open their eyes, and that's exactly why Robin said that in the movie. Did you know that in Monsters University, during the initiating ritual when Squishy's mom turns on the lights, we can see a 6-wheel car in the background? That's actually Mike's dream car in Monsters Inc.
3 little words, Sully. 6-wheel drive.
You missed this in Monsters Inc. In the simulation room, there is a number on the control panel for a split second. If you dialed this number in 2001, you would have reached Pixar's head office. Did you catch this in Incredibles 2? When Helen is in her hotel room speaking with Bob, there's an abstract painting behind her. 4 on the left side representing her family, and 1 on the right side representing herself, which is emphasizing Helen's separation from her family. You missed this in Tangled. Based on the story, Rapunzel was trapped inside the tower her entire life, and all she ever did was to paint the walls. One of the things that the audience missed was the paintings on the lower parts of the wall, where only a child could reach, meaning that these are the paintings from Rapunzel's childhood. But when you look at the top of the wall, the paintings get so much better. With this small Easter egg, we can assume that Disney was basically trying to say that as she grew older, her paintings got better, and she was not a great painter from the start. Did you miss this in the Lego Batman movie? Throughout the film, Harley Quinn is wearing a costume which says Smilex. Smilex, of course, is the same poison used by Jack Nicholson's Joker in the 1989 Batman movie. You missed this in Tangled. In the beginning of the movie, when Rapunzel is showing us her routine, there's a special guitar lying on the background. Can you recognize it? That looks exactly identical to the Rooster's guitar in the 1973 Robin Hood. Did you know that in Frozen, in the early drafts of the movie, Elsa and Anna were not sisters? And also, Elsa was originally intended to be the evil queen with an army of snow monsters. But Disney decided to completely rewrite the ending. This great decision made Frozen one of the biggest hits of Disney in 2013. You missed this in Toy Story 1. In this scene, if you look at the clock, the time is 12:05. As you know, the shadows at noon are supposed to be under you. But if you look at the shadows, they're a little bit off. And it seems like the time is supposed to be 4 or 5 o'clock based on the shadows. Either this was a mistake by Pixar, or Pixar was trying to say to Disney that they are behind in time with those drawn animations. You missed this in Turning Red. If you watch Pixar animations a lot, you know that Pixar shows an Easter egg for the next animation in their current project. Turning Red was teased in Luca with a reference to the boy band called Four Town in Turning Red.
Who knows what's up?
Pixar fans know that the next upcoming Pixar animation is a spin-off to Toy Story called Lightyear. As you have probably guessed, Turning Red also makes a reference with a sticker under the skateboard. You missed this in Toy Story 3. In the opening scene, we can see hidden references to the very first time we saw Toy Story.
Reach for the sky.
Reach for the sky.
You can't touch me, Sheriff. I brought my attack dog.
Can't touch me, Sheriff. I brought my attack dog.
I brought my dinosaur who eats Force Field dog.
Well, I brought my dinosaur who eats force field dog.
Clearly, they remake the first Toy Story, and references to Toy Story 1 are everywhere. Like the train's number, which references the first Toy Story released in 1995. And also, One-Eyed Bart name was given by Andy in Toy Story 1.
You on a date with Justice, One-Eyed Bart.
I'm here to stop you, One-Eyed Bart.
We can also see that the car has a license plate saying the same thing. You missed this in Tangled. Based on the story, Rapunzel was trapped inside the tower her entire life, and all she ever did was to paint the walls. One of the things that the audience missed was the paintings on the lower parts of the wall, where only a child could reach, meaning that these are the paintings from Rapunzel's childhood. But when you look at the top of the wall, the paintings get so much better. With this small Easter egg, we can assume that Disney was basically trying to say that as she grew older, her paintings got better, and she was not a great painter from the start. You missed this in Zootopia. When Judy is getting help from Bellwether, if you look on her desk, you will see a clue that she was the bad guy the entire time. You can see that she has Doug's phone number.
You got Doug here.
And also pay attention to Doug's uniform and 2 sidekicks.
All right, Walter and Jesse are back, so I'm leaving now.
You missed this in Zootopia. When Nick explains that they have 10 hours left, he holds up all his fingers. Foxes, of course, don't have 10 fingers, they only have 8.
Technically, we still have 10 left to find our Mr. Otterton.
You missed this in Zootopia. When Weaselton is trying to escape by a train, we see him squeeze through a series of pipes, which is just like a Japanese game called Hole in the Wall.
Alright, arms out, remember, assume the position. Legs up, Brendan, stay on the play area.
You missed this in the Lego Batman movie. In this scene when Batman kicks Alfred, as you can see there are lots of Legos on the ground. But in the next scene they all vanish, which means that the animators forgot to put them there.
Batman, what are you doing?
I'm Batman-ing.
I'm Batman, I'm awesome, I got a 9-pack.
You missed this in Zootopia. In this scene you can see a calendar with a picture behind the characters. That's the exact calendar in Ralph Breaks the Internet. But do you know where it is? That's actually the picture of San Francisco in Big Hero 6 released in 2015. You missed this in Monsters University. In the beginning of the movie, if you look closely at the teacher's lips, she counts 19 students.
Okay, we're missing one. Who are we missing?
Which means that there are 20 students in total with Mike Wazowski. However, when the students are told to pair up, Mike doesn't find anyone to pair with.
It looks like it's you and me again.
This shouldn't be the case if there was an even number of students.
Come on, Karen, we're falling behind.
Please don't call me Karen.
You missed this in the Lego Batman movie. In this scene when Batman is looking at family photos, take a good look how they are arranged. You'll notice when the camera changes from Batman to the photos change.
I'm sorry, I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
You missed this in Ralph Breaks the Internet. Take a good look at this scene.
Weird trick.
Ooh, I love weird tricks.
Sassy housewives want to meet you.
Sounds familiar? That's actually Aunt Cass in Big Hero 6. In 2014, she became a meme because of this edited photo. So in 2018, Disney decided to throw it in as a joke. Did you know that in SpongeBob, the crew struggled to create stories for Season 2 because they had used all of their ideas in Season 1? So some of the writers went to the beach to get some inspiration, but the day was so cold that they all stayed in the car. Later on, they created some of the best episodes of the entire series. Did you miss this in ParaNorman? When Norman is walking to school, not only are there a multitude of ghosts, but we get a fun look at various ghosts from all walks of life throughout history. We get a hippie ghost who is floating, a Civil War soldier saluting Norman, and a 1950s greaser type fellow.
What do you think you're doing firing at civilians? That is for the police to do.
This is only one of the reasons why ParaNorman is such an underrated movie, because the gags are so fun and creative. So what do you think about ParaNorman? You missed this in Bolt. As you remember, there was a fake show that was being created inside of the cartoon. I have reasons to believe that this fake movie might actually be a spin-off to Inspector Gadget. As you remember, in the movie Penny owns a dog called Bolt, and in Inspector Gadget there is also a dog, and guess who the owner is? Penny.
Well, it's obvious what's going on here.
And she also has a ton of gadgets just like Penny does. But the biggest clue that I could find is this guy. This guy was supposed to be the main villain of the fake movie, and Dr. Claw was the main villain in Inspector Gadget. If you look closely, you'll find that he has the same iconic sign from Dr. Claw tattooed behind his head. So what do you think? Do you agree with this conspiracy? Write your opinions in the comments down below. Did you know that in Attack on Titan, the reason why Levi drinks tea in a weird way is because when he lived in the underground, he bought himself a cup of black tea after saving a lot of money. However, as soon as he held the cup, the handle broke and the tea fell all over the floor. After that, Levi stopped using cup handles and started holding the cup from the top instead. This is one of the facts that is confirmed by Hajime Isayama.